kudos to you, because at the end of, you mentioned this was a Herculean effort. The editing on this is amazing. It really is. And I think, was it 270 pages? It is an easy read. It is not overcomplicated. It's to the point. And I want to tell you, reading this, I got mad because I think myself and a lot of people out there recognize that, politicians are kind of slimy. You shake their hands, you got to wash your hands afterward. Reading this, I never realized just how bad it was. And if you were a prosecutor, you have a strong case, a strong evidentiary case of what the U.S. government, as you say, the central planners, what they've done to small businesses. So my question to you is, what inspired you to pick this fight?
Well, since you've been following me for a while, you might know that I've been a longtime advocate for small business, a group that does not get nearly enough advocacy. And as you mentioned, I wrote a book previously about 10 years ago about all of the difficulties of running your own business and all of the risks. And never did I think that the number one risk to a small business in the United States of America was going to be the US government coming in, shutting them down, not compensating them for doing so appropriately, and letting their big competitors at the same time stay open. Like, that was like, what? Like, how's that going to happen? So, that was, that's always been sort of my philosophy, is I'm going to stand up for the little guy. But when HarperCollins approached me to do an economic deep dive on this historic scenario, and I just wrote kind of as I saw things happening, and obviously stuff got uncovered, months after it happened, and it did keep kind of going back and keeping track of this crazy timeline, this crazy set of actions and outcomes. It was clear that this government picking of winners and losers, not based on data or science, but based on political clout and connection, was a huge story, as was what it enabled, which was a historic transfer of wealth from Main Street to Wall Street. And so I knew that that was going to be a big story. And frankly, I thought I was going to have to compete with a whole ton of other people to be the first to tell this story. And unfortunately, not only by the first person, but there's a whole bunch of media who doesn't want to cover this story. So that's been a giant surprise for me, for my publisher, that, we thought we were getting beat to the market, and it's been sort of the opposite. They're trying to sweep the story under the rug. So I'm thrilled historically to have this living document that will not let people be gaslit, that will tell you exactly in no uncertain terms what happened, because the story is going to be, well, the economy's fine, the economy's recovered, it's great. And sure, if you're the 7 tech companies that gained $3.4 trillion in value on a headline basis, that looks great. The stock market increased, that looks great. When you get into the underpinnings and how much of that went from this decentralized portion of the economy to the central portion of the economy, how it took away economic freedom and wealth creation opportunities for millions of Americans, you start to understand what's going on, and it's actually really frightening.
If you like this content and want to hear other things like it, head on over to the website at blackmarketleadership.com. That's blackmarketleadership.com. There you can subscribe to the podcast, and you can even create a free members profile